After learning that the man she had fallen in love with wasn't really Daniel, Emma thought she had finally closed that chapter of her life. She wanted to move on, but moving on wasn't as easy as she imagined. The more she tried to forget him, the more she remembered the moments that felt real. Every laugh, every conversation, every promise kept finding its way back into her heart. Michael never stopped reaching out, not to make excuses for what he had done, but because he wanted one opportunity to prove that people could change.
I know I don't deserve another chance. But if there's one thing I never lied about, it was how much I loved you.
Emma spent days thinking about those words. She knew forgiveness wouldn't erase the past, but she also knew that carrying hatred wouldn't heal her either. Eventually, Emma made a decision. She wasn't giving Michael back her complete trust, but she was simply giving him one final opportunity to earn it. For the next few weeks, life almost felt normal again. Michael did everything he could to make Emma smile. And little by little, she allowed herself to believe that maybe people really could change. They spent more time together than ever before. Every day seemed to erase another painful memory. Emma could finally see the man she had fallen in love with instead of the mistakes he had made. But peace never lasts forever. One evening, there was a knock on Michael's door, and the moment he saw who was standing outside, every fear he had buried came rushing back.
So you really thought you could walk away?
I told you I'm done.
No one leaves us that easily.
Before Emma could react, one of the men shoved Michael against the wall. They threatened him, warned him, and made it clear that walking away wasn't an option. Watching Michael refuse to go with them convinced Emma that he truly wanted to leave that life behind. After they had finally left, Emma held Michael tightly. In that moment, she believed he had chosen her over everything else. She didn't know the performance had only just begun. Decision again. Daniel wasn't giving up. He kept trying to reach Emma, hoping she would eventually listen. But Michael knew that as long as Daniel remained in the picture, his plan could fall apart. So he decided to remove him without ever touching him. Instead of confronting Daniel directly, Michael created a different plan. If Emma could be convinced that Daniel was the real manipulator, She would never believe another word he said.
Michael, what's wrong?
I wasn't going to tell you.
Tell me what?
I think Daniel has been following us.
A few days later, Emma saw Daniel near her apartment. She didn't know he had only come to warn her one last time. After everything Michael had told her, all she saw was a man who refused to leave her alone.
Emma, please, just listen to me.
No. I know exactly what you're trying to do. Please don't ever come near me again.
With Daniel pushed out of her life, Michael will achieve exactly what he wanted. Emma had completely lost the one person who might have exposed the truth before it was too late. Emma thought every payment would be the last. Every time Michael promised the nightmare was almost over, she believed him. She kept telling herself that a little more sacrifice today will give them a peaceful tomorrow.
They changed the deal.
What do you mean?
They're asking for more money.
I thought you said this would be the last payment.
Something didn't feel right anymore. The demands kept increasing, yet the threat never stopped. For the first time, doubt quietly crept back into Emma's heart. The situation was becoming more complicated. The syndicate wanted more money than they had originally agreed on. What had started as a simple scam was slowly turning into a dangerous power struggle.
You're getting greedy.
That wasn't our agreement.
Our agreement changed. And if you don't like it, you already know what happens.
Michael walked back into the apartment, pretending everything was under control. Emma welcomed him with comfort and trust. She still believed they were fighting the same battle, never realizing Michael was now trapped in a game that was becoming impossible to control. Emma tried to convince herself that everything would eventually make sense. But the more she thought about it, the more questions she couldn't answer. If every payment was supposed to be the last, why did the demands never stop? That was what Emma asked herself. Michael noticed the change immediately. Emma wasn't accusing him of anything, but she had started paying closer attention. The blind trust he once enjoyed was slowly beginning to disappear. The trust was far more complicated.
Can I ask you something?
Of course.
If they're collecting all this money, why haven't they left us alone?
They're just buying time. It'll be over soon.
The syndicate had stopped trusting Michael. They believed he was hiding money from them, and they were beginning to see him as a problem instead of a partner. What started as a partnership was falling apart. The people Michael once worked with were no longer interested in sharing profit. Greed had turned everyone against each other. Then something happened. On this particular night, for the first time since taking Michael back, Emma found herself wondering if Daniel had been trying to tell her something important. It was only a passing thought, but it was the first crack in the story she had believed for weeks. A few days later, everything seemed unusually peaceful. There were no threats, no late night knocks, and no demands. For the first time in weeks, Emma thought their nightmare might finally be over. Then Michael's phone vibrated. Emma wasn't trying to invade his privacy. She only glanced at the screen because the notification appeared right in front of her. The message didn't mention money. It didn't mention Emma, but one sentence caught her attention. This has gone too far. Those 5 words refused to leave her.
Your phone kept ringing.
Probably work.
Who said this has gone too far?
They're talking about a business deal.
Emma wanted to believe him. She told herself she was overthinking everything. After all, Michael had answered every question she had asked, but something deep inside her refused to settle. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. She didn't have any proof that Michael was lying. She only had a feeling, and sometimes a quiet feeling is the first warning that your heart has been ignoring the truth. 2 days later, the truth finally caught up with Emma. It wasn't because she was searching for answers. It was because someone made a mistake. Michael had stepped outside to answer a call. He forgot one thing. His laptop was still open. Then a message that changed everything appeared on the screen. Every visit, every threat, every bruise, every promise that things would soon be over, it had all been planned from the beginning. The confrontation outside the apartment weren't real. They were performance, and she had believed every single one.
Emma,
So this is the truth? Every single thing was fake?
Emma, please listen to me. I swear, I never planned for it to go this far.
But you let it. You watched me trust you every single day.
Emma didn't want to hear another explanation. Some betrayers don't leave room for conversation. They only leave broken acts and the painful realization that the person you loved has been acting all along. Emma spent the entire night walking through the streets of London. She couldn't believe she had fallen for the same lies twice. She cried her eyes out. She couldn't believe she had fallen for the same lie twice. The man she defended, the man she trusted, had been deceiving her all along. There was only one person she could think of, the same man she had ignored, accused and pushed away. She didn't know if Daniel would even answer her call, but she knew she had no one else.
I should have listened to you. I'm so sorry.
I'm just glad you're safe.
Emma told Daniel everything, the fake threats, the money, the messages, and the conversation she had discovered on Michael's phone. Daniel listened without interrupting.
We can stop them,
How?
but only if you're ready to fight back.
I'm done running.
Every piece of the story confirmed what he had feared from the beginning. For the first time in weeks, Emma wasn't driven by fear. She was driven by the need for justice. She had lost her money. She had lost her trust. She wasn't going to lose herself. The next morning, Emma and Daniel began putting the pieces together. Every bank transfer, every message, every fake threat. They laid everything out, hoping one small detail will expose the entire operation. It didn't take long before Daniel noticed the pattern. The money Emma had been sending never disappeared. It was being moved through different accounts before ending up in the hands of the same people.
I found something.
What is it?
Michael wasn't working alone. This is much bigger than we thought.
As the investigation continued, Emma found herself relying on Daniel more than she expected. He never judged her for the mistakes she had made. Instead, he stayed focused on helping her find the truth. They knew they couldn't bring down the syndicate by themselves. With the evidence they have gathered, they decided to finally involve the authorities.
What if this doesn't work?
Then we'll keep fighting. But this time you're not fighting alone.
The investigation became part of their daily lives. Almost every day, Emma and Daniel found themselves meeting detectives, reviewing evidence, and retracing the mistake that had brought them this far. Somewhere between police reports and endless conversations, something unexpected happened. Emma found herself smiling without forcing it.
You've been through more than anyone should.
Some days I still blame myself.
You shouldn't. You trusted someone you loved. That wasn't your weakness. Come on.
Where are we going?
Nowhere special. I just think you've spent enough days crying.
I almost forgot how to smile.
I'm glad it's coming back.
As the days passed, the investigation became more intense. Emma and Daniel spent almost every day together, following the new leads and helping the police connect the pieces of the case. Somewhere between interviews, evidence, and endless cups of coffee, they stopped feeling like two strangers working on the same problem. They had become genuine friends. Friends who understand each other's silence as much as their words. Daniel never asked Emma to forget her past. He simply gave her new memories to hold on to. For the first time in months, she caught herself laughing without guilt and dreaming without fear.
You know, I didn't think I'd ever trust anyone again.
You don't have to force it. Trust grows, just like healing.
It was only a brief moment. Neither of them said anything. But for the first time, they both noticed something they had been trying very hard to ignore. Emma wasn't ready to call it love, not yet, but deep inside her heart, the walls she had built after Michael's betrayal were slowly beginning to come down. The weeks of investigation were finally beginning to pay off. One overlooked transaction connected every account they had been tracking. For the first time, the police believed they had enough evidence to move against the syndicate. The financial trail led to a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. According to the investigators, that location had been used as a meeting point for several members of the groups, including Michael.
So it's finally happening?
We're getting close.
What if they find out? We're helping the police.
Then we'll face it together.
Neither of them spoke much on the drive home. They both understood that the closer they came to the truth, the more dangerous everything would become.
Promise me something.
What?
Whatever happens, don't face it alone.
I promise.
Their relationship had changed without either of them noticing. Trust had quietly replaced fear, and although neither of them had spoken about love, it was becoming harder to ignore what has been growing between them. The closer Emma and Daniel got to the truth, the more dangerous the investigation became. Every piece of evidence brought them closer to Michael and the people behind the operation. Then they discovered something they never expected. Michael wasn't just following orders anymore. Somewhere along the way, he became more involved than anyone realized. For Emma, it was difficult to accept. The man who once promised to protect her had not only deceived her, For Emma, it was difficult to accept. The man who once promised to protect her had not only deceived her, he had chosen to continue, even after knowing how much she trusted him.
I keep asking myself, how did I not see it?
Because you cared about him.
But I ignored every warning.
You were trying to believe someone could change.
Daniel never used Emma's mistakes against her. He understood that love could sometimes make people ignore what was right in front of them. Instead of judging her, he helped her find the strength to face the truth.
Thank you
For what?
for staying when I pushed you away.
Everyone deserves someone who believes them.
After weeks of gathering evidence, the police finally had enough information to make a move. But they knew they couldn't rush. One mistake could give the syndicate enough time to disappear. While Emma and Daniel prepared their next move, Michael was facing a battle of his own. The people he once worked with no longer trusted him. The plan he created had grown beyond his control. The syndicate believed Michael had taken more than his share. They no longer saw him as a partner. They saw him as someone who had become a threat to their operation.
You changed the plan. I was trying to fix everything. Fix it? You made this bigger than all of us. I never wanted it to go this far.
The surveillance gave the police the final piece they needed. For Emma, watching Michael on the screen brought back painful memories, but this time, she wasn't blinded by love. Emma finally understood something important. Loving someone didn't mean ignoring the truth. Sometimes the hardest form of love was accepting when someone had chosen the wrong path. The operation was set for that night. Weeks of investigation had led to this moment. If everything went according to plan, the syndicate would finally be brought down. Inside the warehouse, the atmosphere had completely changed. Trust was gone. Everyone blamed everyone else. And Michael finally, too late, realized that the people he once worked with would never let him walk away peacefully.
You've become our biggest problem. I did everything you ask, and then you started thinking for yourself. I never wanted anyone to get hurt. It's too late for that.
Outside, police units quietly surrounded the building. Daniel stayed close to the detective while Emma waited nervously, praying that the nightmare would finally come to an end. Within seconds, the warehouse erupted into chaos. Officers stormed the building from every entrance. Some members tried to escape. Michael stood frozen, knowing there was nowhere left to run.
Emma, I'm sorry.
I forgave you a long time ago, but forgiveness doesn't erase consequences.
The arrests made headlines across the city. After months of deception, fear, and heartbreak, the people behind the scam were finally facing justice. But for Emma, The emotional battle wasn't over yet. Sitting alone in custody gave Michael something he hadn't had in months: silence. For the first time, there was no lies to tell, no plans to follow, and no one left to deceive. Only the weight of his own choices remained.
I thought seeing him arrested would make me feel better.
Does it?
It just makes me sad.
Sometimes justice brings peace, but it doesn't erase the memories.
Emma realized something that day. Healing wasn't about watching someone pay for what he had done. Healing was about choosing not to let the past control the rest of your life.
So, what happens now?
I don't know. But for the first time, I'm looking forward to finding out.
The investigation was over. The case was closed, but without realizing, Emma and Daniel were about to begin a brand new chapter, one neither of them had planned for, but both of them were ready for. Weeks passed after the trial. For the first time in a long time, Emma wasn't surviving anymore. She was finally living again. The fear was gone, and little by little, so was the pain. One afternoon, a handwritten letter arrived at her door. She recognized the handwriting immediately. It was from, guess now, Daniel. The letter wasn't filled with promises or grand speeches. Daniel simply told her that meeting her had changed his life, and whether she chose him or not, he would always be grateful that their paths had crossed.
I wasn't sure you'd come,
I almost didn't.
but you did.
When you first told me how you felt, I wasn't ready. But I've had time to heal. And now, I'd like us to see where this journey takes us.
This time, Emma didn't fall in love because someone made beautiful promises. She fell in love with someone who stood beside her when she had nothing left to offer except a broken heart. And somehow, that made all the difference. 1 year later, life looked completely different. The pain that once kept Emma awake at night had become a distant memory. What she thought would destroy her had quietly become the beginning of a brand new life. Daniel never tried to replace Emma's past. It simply became the reason she looked forward to her future. Their relationship wasn't built on perfect moments. It was built on honesty, patience, and trust.
You once told me you were afraid to trust again. So I'm not asking for perfection. I'm only asking for forever.
You really took your time.
I was waiting for your heart to heal.
Then my answer is yes.
For the first time, Emma wasn't choosing love because she needed someone to rescue her. She was choosing someone who had already proven through his actions that love was safest when it was honest. Emma's story didn't end with betrayal. It ended with healing, it ended with justice, and most importantly, it ended with a love that didn't have to pretend to be real. Sometimes the wrong person breaks your heart, so the right person can show you how it was always meant to be loved.